What's up, guys? Chun is back. I've got another fourth generation standard match for you guys today against the one and only Faladran. Um, Many of you guys know him. He is director on PokéMoshPit, as well as he does a lot of help as far as the rate my team forums on the Smogon forum. So definitely a great guy and an excellent player. Um, we finally did get a match in, so normally something like this I would not upload, but I kind of have to because it's the setup for the next series that I'm going to be running, which will be the very next battle. But anyway, he leads with Yuxi, and so I immediately knew what team he brought because I've seen it before in his other videos, and I know all of his Pokemon except one, but I do not know the sets or what the spreads are, so, or at least the entire sets. But despite that, I went for the taunt anyway on the first turn, completely forgetting about Yuxi carrying U-turn. Spikes was obvious since I'm playing Faladran. He knows what Frost Blast does, and he goes to Jirachi. I have to set up the spikes here, knowing that he would Iron Head, which he does. So I'm going to bring Heatran in, and I immediately thought this was substitute Thunder Wave, so I thought he'd have enough speed to outrun me and hit me with a Thunder Wave first. I didn't want that this early, so I double switched to Flygon, which is a very bad over prediction on my part, since he makes the best play. Just goes to Gyarados, expecting me to Stealth Rock most likely. Him switching out should have tipped me off on the set, but I don't realize it until later when it's too late, but you guys will see. Flygon's at -1, so I didn't calculate how much damage a Thunder Punch would do, so I went to Dusknoir, who can also deal with Gyarados, and he goes for the Waterfall. It turns out it would have been a 2-hit KO, but Thunder Punch is very dangerous to lock into early in the match, so especially since he's got something to resist it. But anyway, I go straight for the Thunder Punch here. The only other thing I could have done was Will-O-Wisp, and he decides to go to Yuxi, figuring I most likely carried the Thunder Punch, or even if I didn't, the Will-O-Wisp. Now I know here he's going to set up Stealth Rock, so I decide to try and put Yuxi on a timer, and I went for the Will-O-Wisp, but he is carrying the Lumberry, which actually makes sense. So he's going to go for the Psychic here, and I just go for the Thunder Punch at this point. I don't even want to try and Will-O-Wisp again, so I'm actually invested in special defense. That's why the Psychic really didn't do that much. And he's gonna U-turn, predicting me to go back to Will-O-Wisp, and he goes into Heatran to take advantage. Thankfully it misses though, so he does not get the Flash Fire boost, so I'm gonna switch out here after much debate. Dusknoir won't take a Fire Blast that well, even unboosted, so from a Heatran. So I went to Dragonite, and I didn't want to go to my own Heatran in case he predicted that and went for the Earth Power, but he sticks with Fire Blast, and not only do I not take it well, I get the burn. So that turned out horrible for me, and the damage tells me he either got max damage given my IVs, or it might be specs. So I get very desperate here, and I go for the Earthquake immediately, and he just goes right back to Yuxi, so easily predicted that. And I've been playing horribly this whole time, so it's here that I just start deciding to just stop, slow down, and just think about my moves, because now I've put myself in a huge hole, and I've got to claw my way back if I'm gonna try to come back and win this match. But I went to Dusknoir, and this time I'm gonna go for the Pain Split, since he showed Heatran, and I don't want to go for the Will-O-Wisp. But he goes to Heatran, and here he actually goes for the Earth Power. So although I still did have Flygon, he would have taken even more damage than Dragonite from Fire Blast, so I decided to stay in and go for the Thunder Punch. Now realizing I'm going to stay in, he goes for the Fire Blast, but he misses, so I get another free Thunder Punch. Now this turn I decide to try and psych him out by getting him to think I'll stay in, and I'm going to go to Heatran to try for the Flash Fire boost, and he does go for the Fire Blast, and I do get the boost. Now, I could get greedy here and go for the flamethrower, but I know he's going to go to Gyarados just like before, so I'm going to decide to set up Stealth Rock now, which actually should have been the play I made much earlier, because now Gyarados would be at 25, he'd be at half right now if I had done that, but I was hoping I could force Gyara out again with Flygon, so I go to him here. Worst case scenario for me is if he waterfalls, but he does end up going for the Dragon Dance, so that was the ideal situation for me. Now I'm in a position where I pretty much have to Thunder Punch here. Dusknoir can beat Gyarados too, but that's kind of a last resort. So, and I doubt she'll beat a Gyarados if he decides to Dragon Dance again. So now here I got pretty cocky. I still thought this was the substitute Thunder Wave set, so I decided to stay in and go for the Thunder Punch again, and he actually shows the Body Slam. I do get the Parahacks here, but naturally because of Serene Grace, he's going to get the Parahacks on me. And I just face-palmed here. That was a huge, huge mistake on my part of assuming it was substitute Thunder Wave, and that set's not even effective anymore in this metagame with Heatran running around. So he's actually running a especially defensive Jirachi because he shows the Wish here. So really, really put myself in a pickle on that one. Now, the Parahacks really didn't matter on Jirachi, since especially defensive Jirachi is not invested in speed anyway, so Flygon's practically useless, so I have to put even more pressure on Dusknoir to get me out of situations and try to come back. But after deciding to go back to Dusknoir, he set up the Wish, and I knew he would either go to Heatran or Gyarados, or he would stay in. But I just go for the Thunder Punch again, and I do manage to take his Heatran out, so he does not get a Wish between the Spikes and the Stealth Rock support. So now here he goes to Celebi. I know his last is Machamp, and I know he's going to Thunder Wave here expecting Heatran, so I go to Flygon to absorb it. It was a good play, but the follow-up was pretty bad because I decided to stay in here and I take a Leaf Storm to the face. I guess my thought process was, maybe I can bring Heatran in now since he's at -2. So even if he had Earth Power, he couldn't take me out. And I didn't want to make the obvious play and go to Heatran on a double switch and then him Thunder Waving again. So I bring Heatran in back now. He's going to go back to Uxie, and I went for the Dragon Pulse expecting Gyarados to come back in again. And it's possible he was scouting for the Hidden Power Electric, but I think he knows I don't carry it. So here I stay in knowing he's going to Thunder Wave. I potentially could have gone back to Dusknoir since she doesn't care, but I needed to get Uxie out of the way. So I thought at the time it was a standard physically bulky supporter, but I think he might be running some speed because he actually outsped my Dragonite earlier, but I'm not really sure. And I doubted Lucario's Crunch would OHKO from 50%. I was assuming max HP, max defense, but the Flamethrower, luckily I get the burn, and it takes him out. So now he is going to reveal his last, which is Machamp. I knew he would go for the sub here, and I have Lucario and Dusknoir to check the rest of his guys on his team, since he has 4 guys left, especially with Stealth Rock and Spikes. So Heatran's fodder at this point, so I'm just going to stay in, and I'm just going to continue to put pressure on him and just keep going for the Flamethrower. I don't even want to try to predict when he's going to sub and when he's not going to. I'm just going to stay in at this point. And the plan here is to just force him to sub and get him down low enough to where I can threaten the one-hit KO with Lucario. So, and that's what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to set the stage up for Lucario to make a comeback for me and sweep. So here he realizes I'm going to stay in. He just goes right for the Dynamic Punch, and that's easily going to take Heatran out. But it was a good thing I didn't get the Parahacks, and it was a good thing he kept subbing there. So now I'm gonna bring Lucario in, and he's in range for close combat to be a one-hit KO. Now here I potentially could have double switched to Dusknoir, but I decided to just play it safe and go for the close combat anyway, figuring I just need to get damage on something. And if he stayed in the sub, that would have been really bad, because Thunder Punch and Shadow Sneak would have broke the sub, but then Lucario would be at -1 because Gyarados would come in again, so, and I would have lost. But anyway, I got his Gyarados down to about half. With the defense drop, I can't stay in because I know he'll attempt a waterfall, and that's exactly what he's going to go for here. And I bring Dusknoir back in to try to take advantage. Now, I did a damage calc here, and I was really rolling the dice here, thinking because of the damage I saw with waterfall that I would be able to take another one. So I went for Thunder Punch, and I was actually carrying Shadow Sneak, and I really should have gone for it here. It definitely would have made the match closer had I done that, but I wasn't able to live a waterfall, and my last guy is Lucario, so now I have to hope for the freeze hacks with Ice Punch, and that's exactly what I go for. And Gyarados does take quite a bit, but I do not get the freeze hacks, unfortunately. Now I knew since this was bulky Gyarados, a waterfall would not take me out because I don't have any drops yet. But I'm gonna go for the close combat here because even though Gyarados resists it, even after the resistance, it still does more damage than Crunch or Ice Punch, and I just missed the KO. Once again, it seems like I'm always in this situation with Lucario, and I end up on the losing end, but he's going to take me out with a waterfall, and that's going to be the game. Match definitely would have been closer, but the only way I actually would have won is if I outplayed him like a boss, basically, since he would just life orb stall me out. But anyway, it was a good game, Faladran. I definitely hope to do better next time we play. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Just stay tuned for the next battle, which will be the beginning of my new series, and this is pretty much the setup for it. But until next episode, Chun is out. Peace.